while I whip this out. Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy, and you're listening to the Sports Jock Show. It's November the 5th, which means tomorrow is Election Tuesday. Barack Obama, Mitt Romney will be locking horns, and the country will turn another page. Come Wednesday morning, we will either still be under Democratic rule, or we will revert back to the Republican way of life. The biggest thing of the week, we're going to talk about that in a bit. Congresswoman Terry Sewell from Selma, Alabama, coming on in just a second. But before I go any farther, especially for you that are watching on Ustream, yes, I have on an Auburn t-shirt. So for you people who keep bumping into me as though I have lost my Auburn courage, I haven't. Insulting me only makes me send more money to the school and buy more high school recruits. That's all it's going to do. You're not going to make me by threatening, oh, we're going to take you off of DirecTV at the sports bar, Eric, the bartender. You think you're, hey, I still have it. I got it out the dry cleaner bag.
The dry cleaner bag. The dry cleaner bag. You got the T-shirt out the dry cleaner bag.
Yeah, I got it out the dry.
Auburn's doing so bad.
Doggone it, Mitt Romney is going to win the doggone
Auburn's
president,
doing so bad right
that
now.
is just some Republican baller stuff right there.
What,
a
to get my-
T-shirt being dry cleaned.
Auburn's
Sports
doing
Jock.
so bad they don't even dry clean their uniforms
Sure.
right now. You know?
Sure.
The coach isn't
just-
even getting his suit dry cleaned anymore.
You don't
He's
even
just
hear yourself.
wash
He
and
over there,
hang.
I got it out of the dry cleaning
Yeah,
bag. What?
It was in there a long time.
It shouldn't have been in there.
I know, but we've only won 2 games.
No, it shouldn't have gone to the dry cleaner. What part are you missing in this?
Think about it. They give away most garments after a certain amount of time at the dry cleaner. They couldn't even give away an Auburn T-shirt. They're like, hey, anybody want this? No, we good. We'll walk around topless. That's
So,
okay.
It is still War Eagle, even though we're 2-7. It's still War Eagle. So War Eagle to my nation. We will be back. And we just won a national championship. So all you other 124 schools, it's been a long time since you won. We, 2011 national champions. So, hey, that buys us at least 2 or 3 years of grace period, Lady T.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To my left, I have the funny man, Big Kenny.
Good morning.
From Southern
world.
Miss.
Hey, which is no better. But to show my spirit, I burned down the bookstore at Southern Miss. So. Didn't want anybody else wearing those T-shirts. So.
And to his right, I have the Southside Chicago Tech, Simeon High, University.
Mama Lena School of Hair and Nails.
Just leave me out like I'm not educated. It's okay.
Lady T, we have Congresswoman Sewell coming up in the next segment.
Absolutely.
And she got so many degrees.
I could take one of hers.
Yeah, we can all get
and
one.
I would from any one of the schools, Oxford, Princeton, Harvard Law.
Yeah,
I
so-
mean, I have to really take her valedictorian from Selma High School. I promise you.
It's just something about those overachievers.
They mess it up for everybody.
And for everybody. I'm going to go work on Wall Street for a while. Then I think I want to go into politics and become a congresswoman.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I can always just go get me $1 million job. I don't
Right,
ever have to,
right.
you know.
Now, she's a bad chick, boy.
She
You know,
is. So
you
we have her coming up. As I said, Election Tuesday tomorrow, tonight. The Saints and the Tweety Birds are in action in New Orleans. The Tweety Birds are the Eagles because they haven't played like an eagle in a long time. Because you know, an eagle is a big, wide bird. When you,
powerful.
Yeah, when you look up and see an eagle,
Massive talons.
You know, wing to wing is about 9 feet.
Right,
Sure.
right.
You know,
very,
but
very
they're not
formidable
playing.
Animal.
Yeah, they're not playing like that.
Right. They're playing like I thought I threw a putty tag.
So it's a good Monday night game. NBA, hot and heavy. A lot of good things in sports. We also going to talk about the New York Marathon being canceled. A lot of money lost in that. But just sit
I've got a theory about that too. So
about the marathon, about how the water got in the city, or just
no, about the canceling of the marathon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew you probably would have.
How the water got in the city.
Somebody left a faucet on in Harlem, and it just
Overflow
flooded
bathtub. Do it to you every time.
Oh, but sit back, relax. We have a great show for you. As always, live here, Atlanta, the Sports Jock Show. You can reach us at 888-926-7562. And we're going to even talk about Lady T's diet later on.
It's not diet. It's a healthy
show.
way of changing my life.
Right. It's called
Better eating.
AA Rehab.
Sure.
We'll be back after this. Oh, but sit back, relax. We have a great show for you.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Honey, I'm home. I've got a surprise for you.
Get that filthy, disgusting tire out of my living room. You're on my favorite rug.
Calm down. You're gonna love this.
What?
Whoa.
The goldfish bowl.
I won't run over them. Relax.
You roll that tire right back out of here.
Relax. It's all part of my master plan to save us money.
This is not going to be our coffee table. Don't even think about putting a piece of glass on top.
No, honey. This is a reminder to keep our tires properly inflated so we can save money on gas.
Can't we just tie a string around our fingers?
Sweetie, properly inflated tires could save us more money at the pump than a week's worth of gas.
You're getting tire tracks on my love seat.
Exactly. To remind us that we love saving gas with properly inflated tires.
What's wrong with the sticky note on the dashboard?
Discover smarter ways to save hundreds of dollars on gas and help the environment, too, at the Alliance to Save Energy's website, drivesmarterchallenge.org.
Hey, let's put the sticky note on the tire.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette,
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
and another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes, I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Smart, father of a child who was abducted.
I'm John Walsh. Like Ed, I also know the terror of having a child who was kidnapped. But now we have wonderful technology to aid in this battle.
It's called the Amber Alert. It's an early notification system to the public when every second counts.
Amber Alert is a partnership. We want to thank you, the public, broadcasters, transportation, and law enforcement. Amber Alert really works.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy. Election Tuesday is tomorrow. I'm not even going to be like, get out and vote, because y'all don't even know me. If I got to say that, you have a right to vote. And I'm just not one of them people that needs to keep saying, go vote. You know you're supposed to vote. Get out, do your process so you can show your support in whichever way you see this country should go.
Did you vote early?
Nobody should have to consistently, and then when they have TI, talking about go vote. And I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, you don't
homie,
even have the right to vote.
Get out there and go vote.
Does T.I. even have the right to vote?
But that ain't the point, homie. This the king telling you to go vote if you ain't got no felonies on your record.
Did you vote early, Sports Doc?
Absentee.
You voted absentee.
See, you're trying to get me messed up in Washington. But speaking of a woman that knows something about Washington, we have U.S. House Representative, Alabama 7th District, Miss Terry Sewell on the line. Congresswoman, good morning.
Good morning, Wayne. Thanks so much for inviting me to be a part of Sports Jock.
No, thank you for coming on. It's a privilege. I haven't seen you since my tailgate in Auburn.
I know.
And
it was a good weekend.
It was a great.
Last weekend was a good weekend for Auburn.
Well, New Mexico State had won one game, but we trying. So being from Selma, let me ask you some tough questions first. We have to get this out the way. Are you Roll Tide? And don't, Congresswoman, don't give me the political answer now. Are you Roll Tide or you War Eagle?
Well, I represent the 7th District, which includes Selma, Birmingham, and Tuscaloosa.
So you're telling me the Tuscaloosa part.
Correct answer. The University of Alabama is in my district, and we're very proud of them, but I'm equally as proud of Auburn. Was honored to be in the White House last year when you guys when you guys won the national championship to root Auburn on. So look, any Alabama team that's as awesome as both Auburn and Alabama, I'm in favor of.
That sounded like the political answer to me. That did. But it was smooth the way you did that. It was nice. I like that.
And second of all, I have to play. I found something now, and I don't know if this is yours or just somebody just made something up, but please listen to what my producer found that has your name in it.
It's what you want to be. You want to be, baby. Get out to the polls and vote. Terra Sewell, y'all. Get out to the polls and vote. Terra Sewell, y'all. Get out to the polls and vote. Terra Sewell, y'all. Get out to the polls and vote. Terra Sewell, y'all. She knows about the problems and the
Congresswoman.
That's keeping it, Wayne, that's just keeping it real.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Hey, as I was listening, I was just waiting on you to come in with a little
what?
You have to meet the voters where they at.
Hey, I heard that. So election Tuesday is tomorrow.
It is, and I know that, I just wanted to basically reiterate how important it is to vote. You grow up in Selma. I grew up in Selma, Alabama, and, you see the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and sometimes you forget the march and the people prayed and died and fought for our right to vote. But it's incredibly important that we all do our part. No voice, no vote. No vote, no voice. So I think it's really important that we all exercise our right and make our voices heard.
And I tell you, Ms. Sewell, Congresswoman Sewell, that politics was hot and heavy. I was at a tailgate yesterday, the Cowboys and the Falcons, and half the conversation was about voting, which was great. People talking politics. It was cold and we were still out there debating. We probably talked more politics than we did the football game. So it is on people's minds. Even in those type situations, they was a little drunk, but they still had a point of view.
Yeah, it's so important. I was in I'm a Democrat, so a full disclosure, and I was in the battleground state of Ohio this past weekend, working for the president, and I have to tell you, it's going to be really close. So I don't want folks to have regrets on November 7th. I hope people do go to the polls. So much is at stake, and it is about moving our country forward. So I hope folks will go to the polls.
Congresswoman, this is Lady T. I want to hear your particular opinion on two things, the pros and the cons. If Romney ends up, so we know what we have in President Obama. I'm personally looking forward to another term for him. In your opinion, what do you think are the great things that Romney could do for this country, and what do you think are the things that could potentially go wrong if he ends up with the presidency?
Well, first of all, I think that we have two fundamentally different visions of America. And the Romney vision, I think, has been reiterated by his policies. I don't know about you, but I'm waiting for that trickle-down economics to trickle down to the people I represent. It has not. And the fact that Romney wants to have America, making sure that the top 1% continue to receive their money and that they're the quote-unquote job creators and that will trickle down to average working-class folks, that just has not worked. I think he really showed himself his true colors when he said that he believes that 47% of Americans are moochers, dependent upon the government. And those are the very people that I represent. So I really have a fundamental problem with his basic vision of America. And that is to continue to give to the haves and forget about the have-not. And, while this economy is not where we want it to be, we are definitely better off today than we were 4 years ago. 4 years ago, this economy was in free fall. And now we have 7.9% unemployment. It's not where we want it to be, but we're definitely digging our way out of this recession. And we're doing it with 32 straight months of positive job growth in the private sector under President Obama. So I really think it's two different visions of where we want America to be, as well as what we think fundamentally Americans are about. And I know that we are not just about self, that we are a country that's made up of immigrants, a country made up of the haves and the have-nots, and that we are about promoting all that is good for America. And I think that's being really promoted by President Obama.
Congresswoman Sewell, this is Big Kenny. Both campaigns have made a great deal of effort to connect with female voters. As the first black female elected to Congress from Alabama, what do you see as the biggest challenges politically for females?
I really think that it's a fundamentally rolling back of our basic rights that we fought for and thought that we had already won. I mean, the fact that we're still talking about our reproductive rights, and the fact that Romney wants to control a woman's right to choose what she and her doctor and her family believe is in the best interest of her, is something that we should all be quite concerned about. And I think it's truly telling that President Obama's first piece of legislation was the Equal Pay for Equal Work, the Lilly Ledbetter Act, which fought for women to get the same pay for the same amount of work that men do. And I think that, once again, it's about whether or not these two candidates really respect fundamentally women. And I think that President Obama has shown, not only through his legislation, but through his actions, that he's the best candidate for women.
Congresswoman Sewell, I've always wanted to know, because I tried to make sure being on a sports show, we always kind of relate things to sports. When you're sitting there, tell us that process that either candidate, because both of them at the time of the voting are sitting there waiting to see if they won or not. In sports, you can kind of, you have a true outcome. You can dictate the outcome. When you're sitting there waiting, how is that waiting process? To wait on that last tally?
Well, I have to tell you, I think that as a candidate, what you hope is that you have done all that you possibly can. You literally have to hand it over to the Lord and know that you have run the best campaign that you possibly can, that your campaign has done everything to turn out the vote on your behalf. I think that President Obama should be very proud of the campaign that he has run, and I know we'll all be sitting with pins and needles tomorrow night, hoping that the results come out towards his favor. So I think that campaigns are won and lost by the turnout, and so that's why I think it's so important that all of us are preaching the same thing, which is that people should exercise their right to vote tomorrow.
Well, we have 1 minute left. We're going to let you go, and we thank you for calling in. You're the first congressperson, period, we've had on our show, and
absolutely,
it is a blessing.
Yay for the Democrats.
I see that you were in law school with President Obama. Even then, when you saw him, did you see presidential traits when you attended law school with him?
Absolutely. I don't think any of us could have ever thought that he would be president of the United States, but it was clear to us from day one when we were first-year law students, that he was that he had extraordinary leadership ability, that he was the kind of person that when he spoke, people listened. And I think that he was always steady. You know, I think that in times of economic crisis, we need a steady hand, a person who is cool under pressure. Some call it his swagger, but he's had it since the day I first met him, which was the first day of law school 20-plus years ago. So I just am so honored. I think that only in America could a little black girl from Selma, Alabama, go to law school with the future president of the United States. So God bless America.
Right. I know that's right.
Congresswoman Sewell, good luck tomorrow. Selma, Alabama. I'm still going to wait on an answer about Roll Tide and War Eagle, though.
And then I'm going to challenge you to a rap battle. We're going to spit a hot 16 after the election.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
All right.
Okay.
Congressman
Have a
Sewell.
good one.
We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Everybody, let's go, let's go. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome, everyone, to West High School Spring Fling. Hey, where we at,
All right, I've gone through all the tracks. Just move through the beats. Do your thing.
All right, everyone, let's hear it for West High's own Brooke Turner, a.k.a. DJ Hook.
Scratching up my first school dance takes confidence. So getting into college, I've got what it takes. Okay, I went through the practice sessions, I slept good, I feel good.
We will now begin the test. Please take out your pencils.
I got this.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you had the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help us get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Look at what's happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. It should have been somebody else.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. First of all, we'd like to thank Congresswoman Terry Sewell for calling in. Thank you very much taking time. I know you have a busy day. What was the name of that show? That was the
Greatest American Hero.
Yeah, the clumsy superhero. Right. Blonde hair.
Yeah.
Could barely fly. Remember that show?
I do.
Yeah.
We showing our age right there.
Sure. You finally
but
showing
that,
yours.
that was good TV. That was good.
Yeah.
That was.
You could watch it with the entire family.
Right. But one thing that we just talked to a very educated woman. I don't think we really gave enough, Princeton University, Harvard Law School, Oxford University. She's a Democrat.
I'm proud of you, Wayne, for bringing a Democrat on this.
Yeah, I gritted my teeth.
Republican show.
I'm trying to show how bipartisan I can be.
Right.
But she did come out to our tailgate last year in Auburn. Sweet woman. And as you can see, she has all the credentials to hold down her job.
Incredible credentials. And she really gives back. Like, everything that she stands for is the truth. I mean, not one part of her career has she not reached back into the community. I mean, she was raised in the summers with her grandparents, and she attributes to from her grandfather giving her a lot of her morals and how she is. And so it's incredible because as I was reading her bio, it moved me to think that we really take for granted what our grandparents and our older people and what they stood for. What we take it for granted, like we don't have enough of it anymore, and it isn't represented enough. And of course, coming from Selma, it's so deep rooted in being African American there, and what the struggles were. That sometimes in other parts of the world you forget about it, and they hold true to it there. And we just miss it. It makes me think of my mom and how sometimes I probably should just listen even a little bit more, and
a lot more,
a whole lot more.
Yeah, let's get a lot in there, not a little.
A little, right?
Okay.
Exactly.
I think I wanted to ask if she didn't want to get a more prominent rapper from Alabama to do her maybe Rich Boy, you know what I'm saying? Just got a Democrat, throw some D's in it.
He wasn't from her district.
No,
okay, that's what it was.
Her nephew or somebody, you know what I mean?
But as I told her
give somebody a shot.
Yesterday at the tailgate, Algie Crumple and I was out there, and as we were setting up, a guy that played, I think his last name was Lindsey. He said he played for the Raiders back in the late 60s. Maybe like 5 minutes after he shook my hand, he's like, I got something for you. I just met you. I don't know, what would you have for me? He reaches in his truck. He has 2 signs that say Obama, Biden, and hands them to me. And I'm caught like, what do I put these? I just want to dress up your tailgate. Okay. So luckily he walked away, and I just set him on the table. I didn't throw him away. I just set him on the table. And then the good producer, as soon as he shows up, most people like, man, where the beer at? Where the drinks at? What y'all serving?
He snaps out about them
His
signs.
first question is, hey, what you got them Obama Biden signs for? I'm like, oh.
Did he try to pull out a Sharpie and scribble scratch?
And then he only stayed like 20 minutes. I'm like, so that ruined your evening? Then he was talking about he was about to go picket put some signs in people's yards. So I'm like, hold on, man, you're taking it a little too far. But politics, as I told her, were most of the conversation yesterday, which is great to see that it's on people's mind. It seemed like there was a time, Big Kenny, where politics, people wouldn't even know it was voting day. Sure. And now people kind of, at least in the presidential election, I still think people don't vote enough on local levels, but at least on the presidential level, we do pay attention to voting more. So big day tomorrow. The biggest thing of the week, I wish, we're going to talk about some games coming up next. Like
How about them Falcons, boy?
You're not a Falcon fan.
I am.
No.
I am. If I had to pick
We're not going to start that.
Listen.
Big Kenny is Jets.
Jets.
And then on his part-time, he is Bears. The Bears. We're not going to even start that
a true woman
bandwagon stuff.
No, exactly. That's all the women do is jump on the bandwagon. I am on the bandwagon. What are y'all talking? Don't deny me my
your bandwagonness.
Chick who loves dudes who care about sports rights. You know what I mean? I am now on the back. The Falcons are undefeated. The only ones undefeated in the NFL.
So that's your team.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for them. I'm going to start watching the games.
Go team.
Or it took them to be 8-0.
Yeah.
So 6-2 wouldn't have given me. Gotta watch.
Nope.
8-0 gets some
and
people.
And it's conveniently in Atlanta, sure.
You know how it is with women. 8-0 sounds like contract extension. Somebody's getting a bonus.
I'm so excited about the Falcons.
We're going to talk about the tailgates and the NFL coming up in the scoreboard. Dallas did, as usual. They had a lot of people out, a lot of Dallas fans. It was funny how people from Atlanta or live in Atlanta had their Dallas star under their jacket.
Zipped up.
And it was zipped up. I'm like, what is that poking through?
And who is this right here? Y'all open this door right now. Let me in here.
Who is
I don't know.
The owners of the Dallas Cowboys. They locked him out of the locker room. Y'all hear about that story?
No, I didn't hear about that.
We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show. And less banking.
Less banking.
Don't
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone. They're gone.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, all right. Think about it. Where did you have them last?
I remember I was home, then I took them, and then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the in-flight magazine.
And that's the last you saw of your savings?
Yes.
This is so weird.
I know, right?
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
The armor is cool, though. Oops. I think I broke its gauntlet.
You broke my favorite part.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Look around you. 1 in 4 kids in the U.S. faces hunger. It's not always easy to see the signs, but in this land of plenty, there are kids who don't know where they'll get their next meal. Join Share Our Strength and take the pledge to end childhood hunger here in America by 2015. Learn how at NoKidHungry.org. Their next meal could come from you.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Three and five. When you look at a team we just played 8-0, then it's going to be very difficult to catch up with them if you look ahead and know how competitive this league is. But we just need to get up here and play well. I thought we would play well against this team. I thought we could match up good against this team, and I'm very disappointed, even though I knew we had quite a challenge. So, as far as how we do each game from here on out, we'll see how we play. We had some guys do some good things tonight. Although I will say this, I'd like to have seen more bigger plays. They just made bigger plays.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. How would I know? I'll tell you, 888-926-7562. It could be by Pony Express. And however, I'm taking producer jobs. But that was Cowboy owner Jerry Jones.
First-year technical students.
Any of that, high school.
8th grade drummer kids. It doesn't matter. That was Cowboys owner Jerry Jones speaking on the Cowboys, who lost to the Falcons last night, 19-13, in a game I think a lot of us thought would be a little more scoring. But the game did have its defensive moments. Tony Romo, who played a pretty good game. We usually get on Romo, but he came here, played pretty good. Anytime Romo can go through a game and not throw an interception, it's a great game for Tony Romo. He's thrown like 10 interceptions in the last 5 games. So he came here, and I guess my biggest thing that I loved about the game was the Falcon receivers, Roddy White, Julio Jones. They were doing things after the catch because Matt was under a lot of pressure. He had to throw some short passes, and both the receivers were catching the ball and taking 5-yard catches and getting another 6 or 7 yards, which is great for those style of receivers because they're more straight-line receivers. But they seem to be up to the challenge. And Julio Jones and the cornerback Claiborne, a lot of people don't know that was LSU, Alabama.
Right.
That's why he was over there bickering all day.
Right.
Julio 2 years ago, first-round pick. Claiborne from LSU as Dallas, first-round pick this year. But it was a good game, even though the score was only 19-13. Mike Turner with a big run late, which really kind of switched, pushed the game towards the Falcons. Falcons 8-0, first time in the history. And it still doesn't seem like in this city that people care that the Falcons, your hometown team, is 8-0, the only team in the NFL and one of 15 teams to ever start a season in, 95 years of NFL. 8-0, Big Kenny. Why isn't it have any kind of buzz here in this city?
I think that the Falcons being 8-0 is like that girl that comes over and you kiss on the couch for like 3 or 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? At first, that's really cool, but now you want somebody to take their top off. I mean, the Falcons are doing good, and they've done good before. But what really counts in the NFL is a championship. If you want to get behind a team and you want the team to get that full support, all NFL franchises want a championship. And the Falcons, however exciting it may be early on in the season, get disappointing when it gets to playoff time. They either one and done or they never get in the playoffs. And everybody's on some, okay, you're doing all right now, but what's going to happen 8 games from now? Where will we be?
And is it that Atlanta is kind of spoiled, even though it's a transient city where a lot of people moved here? It's had stars that had more off the field persona. Andre Rison, Deion Sanders, even what's his name? White Shoes, Billy White Shoes. You know, people that
Michael Vick.
Yeah, Vick. People that had this off. This team is just a good team. They don't really have that character that I think this type of city wants in a team.
Well, I mean, and to the Falcons' credit, they're trying to be characters. They're getting DUIs and arrested for assaulting police and firemen, but you know that's just a regular NFL fare. If you want to do something,
that used to be a big deal,
right? That used to be a big deal. Now you got to slap your mama if you want some attention. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're right, Sport Jock. I think it has to do with missing that celebrity player, technically, and maybe Julio Jones could become it. I mean, I don't know. And then again, it is the fact that, like you said, I mean, people were zipping up their cowboy stars under their jackets because everybody in Atlanta, you know, is from somewhere else pretty much. And even if they're not, they still seem to choose somebody other than their home team. And I don't think that there is a big enough buzz about the fact that the Falcons are killing. Now, I want to know are they going to continue to kill? Like, what is it that they need to do to continue this, and what mistakes can they not make? Like, is injuries going to stop them, or is it because they haven't come up against the right people? What's the deal?
Well, when you look at this team, the best thing you can always have in sports is motivation. And being able to win and still not get respect keeps your motivation high.
Okay.
A lot of teams fall off because they get celebrated. This team still, they're 8-8. I mean 8-0. They get treated like they're maybe 5-3. They still don't get that same love affair that people have with the Giants or the 49ers, even the Cowboys. When you watch the post game, they talk more about what the Cowboys didn't do than they do about the Falcons being 8-0.
Right.
So,
well,
it becomes, as long as that hunger, I think maybe after about 2 more wins when they get to 10-0, or when they seal that they're going to make the playoffs early, you're going to get that kind of, you might get a little lull the more you celebrate them. But right now, they're 8-0. They're, Coach Smith is going in the locker room and telling them, yeah, we 8-0, but nobody even believes it. They still won't rank us number 1 in the NFL. He has all these motivating factors, and that's always key no matter what sport you're playing. That lack of respect, the chip on your shoulder kind of attitude pushes you through.
But don't you think that coming off of a 13-3 season last year but not making it past the first round of the playoffs has a lot to do with that?
That's a good point.
I mean, we won 13 games last season, and we're just at 8 now, and we still didn't get where we were trying to go. So everybody's just waiting for the other shoe to drop, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the whole city seems to be, like it's not going to happen. Hey, until we lose, we win. We'll be back.
That's right.
With more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Look around you. 1 in 4 kids in the U.S. faces hunger. It's not always easy to see the signs, but in this land of plenty, there are kids who don't know where they'll get their next meal. Join Share Our Strength and take the pledge to end childhood hunger here in America by 2015. Learn how at nokidhungry.org. Their next meal could come from you.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. Monday is Monday, the day before Election Day. Philly, New Orleans tonight down in the Big Easy. Great action yesterday. Seattle beating Minnesota in a game a lot of people felt like Minnesota would win. Russell Wilson had a great game at quarterback. As we mentioned a little earlier, Falcons 8-0 defeating Dallas. This Pittsburgh Giant game. We have to take the time to send our well wishes to the people in the New York, New Jersey area. As many of us know, Hurricane Sandy came through. We are going to talk about the canceling of the New York Marathon a little later. The Steelers had to travel the day of the game. Since the game was at 4 o'clock, they were able to fly up that morning, actually stop at a hotel, stay a couple of hours, and then proceed to the stadium. Great game. A lot of us forget that between the Giants and the Steelers, they've won like 4 of the last 6 or 7 Super Bowls. Great quarterback play on both teams. Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers. Eli Manning. He's playing like Peyton Manning. Eli Manning, the quarterback for the Giants, in a game where the Giants players, a lot of them said that they didn't have power either. That's probably the single guys living in Manhattan in their townhouses.
Sure.
Something tells me that Eli probably has like a ranch style with some compound somewhere with 4 or 5 generators or something. But a lot of them said they didn't have power. So for this game to even take place, and that'll be something we talk about later about the marathon. They still had this game. It was Sunday. A lot of fans out. The Steelers prevailed. It was a physical game. I think a lot of people felt like the Giants would win, especially when they found out the Steelers were traveling the day of the game, which is a lot of packing and moving. It's not just the players. It's the equipment, man. He has to get all this stuff to the stadium. People don't really realize when a football team travel is different than a basketball team. You don't just get a gym bag with some shoes. Every person got to have 2 jerseys and 2 pair of pants, and you got to take everybody's different medicine and different mouthpiece.
The medicine alone. The medicine suitcase. Yeah,
it's all on the equipment, man. They have like 3 guys that work full time. That's all they do. They have to carry the coach's stuff. If the owner has some kind of procedure he likes, they have to take that. And you're going to get blamed when that player says, "Hey, where is this?"
Where's my helmet?
It is on you.
Where's the pink tape for my ankle?
Yeah. In the preseason, it's where's the sunflower seeds,
right?
Because that's what where are the sunflower seeds. But traveling, still able to pull this off in a physical game. The running back Redmond for the Steelers ran hard, 150 yards almost against that kind of defense, it was a good game. That's all I can say. Good game between two teams you figured would give you that type of game. Moving on, the Dolphins losing to the Colts. Andrew Luck. Now, see, one thing you have to understand, Andrew Luck is kind of like Derrick Rose for the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to use you for advertising and stuff, but you can't speak. If you ever listen,
and I guess that's why you never really hear him.
And that's why you never hear. Yeah, because he's having a great year for a rookie. He threw for 400 yards last year. He has this team at 5-3. It took him, 12 weeks last year to win a game? Yeah. They were like 0-12 or something by the time they won one game.
When you said he was like Derrick Rose, I thought you meant he arched his eyebrows too, but
no.
That's not what you were talking about.
No, I'm talking
obviously.
about.
Okay, you were talking about his speaking ability.
No, I'm saying,
makes more
you
sense.
ever notice that Derrick Rose doesn't speak in his commercials
at all?
He don't even like what's up to the guy that walks on the court with him.
Right.
The guy just walks in and they nod.
Yeah.
But he does give you that Zorro stare that with the one arched eyebrow up.
So, Andrew Luck playing great for the Colts. It was good to see the head coach, who's battling leukemia. He was at the game, and he's trying to, they don't know which way it's going to take him. He started his treatment for it.
How do you feel about that comment that Terry Bradshaw made about chasing the bucket of chicken? Did that bother you?
Chasing the bucket of chicken?
He said he was talking about Reggie Bush on one of his runs, that he was like, oh, he's running like he's chasing a bucket of chicken in the wind or something like that. Do
people even buy chicken by the bucket anymore?
I mean, when you think about Terry Bradshaw, I mean, of course, that's something he would say.
I guess when you stopping for lunch on the Pony Express, you probably.
But he's catching flack. He's catching flack in the news about that statement, and I feel like it's overblown.
I thought chicken was sold into pieces now. I have nobody say, man, bring back a bucket of chicken. Most people are like, man, bring an 8-piece.
Nobody under the age of 70 says bring back a bucket of chicken. Elderly people still say that.
The idea of the black dude chasing chicken.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, you're trying to turn it racial.
No, I'm not trying to turn it racial. I'm saying I'm not turning anything.
That's a Southern accent. When you hear a dude with a Southern accent saying
KFC still has buckets, so it's probable.
You still go to KFC?
No,
wow.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I didn't
just
think
know they have buckets.
You're a wing ranch kind of woman.
I'm getting ready to be a vegetarian, like kidding.
We'll be back after this with more of the Sports Talk Show.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Look around you. 1 in 4 kids in the U.S. faces hunger. It's not always easy to see the signs, but in this land of plenty, there are kids who don't know where they'll get their next meal. Join Share Our Strength and take the pledge to end childhood hunger here in America by 2015. Learn how at NoKidHungry.org. Their next meal could come from you.
The odds of a young girl being discovered by an industry insider while singing to herself pumping gas? 1 in 300 million. The odds of the daughter of a clergyman from Severn, Maryland spending 11 weeks at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of selling over 40 million records? 1 in 800,000. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. A couple of minutes, Lady T will be back. She had to go to the restroom. You know how I like to tell her business when she's not around. She'll be back in 1 second. She's on this diet. Now, I told you we're going to let you know about the diet in a second.
Yeah, she had to go to the restroom because she's a heroin addict and she likes to shoot up during the show.
It requires you to go to the restroom every 17 minutes. I don't know what kind of diet. That don't sound like a healthy diet to me.
No, sounds
Big
like
Kenny.
a fad is what it is.
Oh, but NFL action yesterday. Also tonight, Philly, the Tweety Birds against the Saints down in New Orleans.
Did you ever think there would be a time when the Saints and the Eagles were playing on Monday Night Football and people would be like, it's no big deal?
I really, especially with the two quarterbacks, with
That
Drew
they
Brees
have, right.
and Michael Vick, and you are totally right. It's kind of like, what else is going on tonight? We might do that.
Right.
Because this game truly is going to seal somebody's fate. And I'm saying whoever loses will not make the playoffs. This is that game. There does become a game where it's like, if we don't win this game, we've dug ourselves too big of a hole to get out of. And both of these teams are at that point, because as you see, the Falcons are 8-0. So that means that the Saints aren't going to win this division.
Right.
You know, and once you can't win the division, your odds of making the playoffs get slim, because the 4 division winners go to the playoffs and 2 wild cards. So this is that game that can seal both of their fates. And it's funny how the Mike Vick fans, because I played with Mike Vick and a lot of people yesterday. Hey, man, is it Vick? Now it might be Vick. It's been a long time since it was Mike Vick. It was everybody else. And now people are doubting, well, maybe Vick is not the guy that we all wanted to believe in Atlanta that he could be. And one thing I always tell people, remember, Vick is older now. He's not no young
spring chicken.
27, 26. He's 32.
Yeah, can't forget about those jail years. That affects your ability to play.
It knocks you down. So that game going on tonight. One thing that we didn't hit on last week that I missed, so it's on me. The Ravens took on the Browns yesterday. Ravens winning 25-15, beating the Browns. Ravens 6-2. But the shooting that happened at World Changes Church, remember Floyd Palmer, 51-year-old who stood up and shot Greg McDowell, was his name, killing him. He had attempted to kill someone else back in like 2002, and he got off by saying that he thought that Ray Lewis was chasing him. Like, this is what he was, and this is what I'm telling the story. His whole defense was like Ray Lewis, his cousin. Remember Ray Lewis got caught up in that murder?
Sure.
Back at the Super Bowl in 2000. One of those guys was Palmer's cousin. So he has this theory that Ray Lewis was trying to murder him and hiring people. And this is why they let him off. This is why he got out and was able to kill McDowell.
Oh, my goodness.
Because that was part of his defense, that Ray Lewis was chasing him.
That he was being stalked.
By Ray Lewis. Yeah, that's what Ray Lewis likes to do on his part-time.
And so
Chase.
Ray Lewis is stalking me, but I'm going to go shoot random strangers.
At
you
the
know what I'm
church.
saying? What does that have to he never thought of maybe, seeking out
So
the cops to help him out?
So the first guy he shot, that's why he shot him. He told them that Ray Lewis hired him to kill him, so that's why he shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that wouldn't have floated me to do anything but give you more time if you had told me that story.
Right.
I would have added time to your sentence. Obviously, they let him out, and he finally, murdered someone, Greg McDowell.
And what was that about? What was the basis of that one, did they say?
Ray Lewis don't call
Ray
him anymore. Ray Lewis used to be so close. Now Ray Lewis doesn't seem to want to keep in contact.
But he did it in the church, which is what. So
he stood up and murdered the guy in the church. And even the first time, I'm just reading, he which I don't know why you go and shoot Palmer. You shot Palmer, talking about you thought his wife was infecting him with AIDS. Palmer, that's what he was saying for his defense. So that's why he was going crazy, his stress level. But I don't know how you secretly infect me with AIDS if you don't have AIDS. What are you going to draw AIDS blood?
Wait. The guy that did the shooting thought that his wife was infecting him with AIDS.
Correct.
So yet again, he takes his anger out on someone who had totally nothing to do with it.
Right. With all that.
Makes a lot of sense.
I thought that was an interesting story, how people fantasize, and then that's for your defense. I don't know how that's why I'm kind of mad at the judicial system that you bought this and let this man back out of jail. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to build up to.
Right.
That obviously that first attempted murder was truly the sign of lock me up, and then you figured some way to let him out, thinking he wouldn't harm others. And
Ray Lewis
I've said churches, schools, public places going to have to start having metal detectors.
All public places.
Yeah, all public, not just the one, but just like you have to go through the airport, you're going to have to start, because, like you're saying, in the church, in the pew, where we all think, at least in church,
you'll be safe.
Maybe the deaconesses, the women, might get in a little choir spat.
Yeah, God is good.
But Deacon Johnson and Deacon Peters, they don't usually fight in the church.
Ain't nothing like watching the choir women spat. Yes, Lord.
Gonna take my lead. They always fighting over the lead. Neither one of them can sing.
Yeah.
But they want to fight for the lead.
But look at how God used them in the church. Yes. Sister Jones, your baritone is a bit off, but your stockings is a blessing from above. Yes, they is.
So Browns losing to the Ravens. Packers knocking the Cardinals. Remember the Cardinals were 4-0?
Yeah.
They're 4-5 now.
4-5.
They've lost 5 games in a row. The Packers are back to their winning ways. We'll be back with more of the Sports Talk Show right after.
Let us bless you at 888-926-7562. Amen. TheSportsJock.com.
The smell of you in every single dream I dream. I knew it.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.